Hello and welcome to the Canadian History Teacher channel. In today's video, I want to introduce students to using a citation generator. There are several good generators online and I encourage students to test them all out. Your time testing and comparing different generators is an investment in building your skills. This work might seem tedious and boring right now, but it gets easier as you become familiar with different generators. And remember, the people who read your paper want to be able to focus on the good ideas that you've written, and that is more likely to happen if they don't have to focus on your formatting or lack thereof. In this example, I'll be using a citation generator called citationmachine.net because it's simple to use and, well, free. Again, use what is comfortable for you and compare the results produced by different generators as well. This will be an investment in your academic knowledge and skills. Once you have the site open and you're on a page where you can generate a citation, the first thing you want to do is check that the proper citation format is chosen to generate the type of citation that you want. So in this case, we are choosing Chicago style formatting. So make sure that's clicked. So it's indicated that it is chosen by that darker red color that you see in comparison to APA, MLA, or More Plus. So that's chosen. The next thing you want to do after you choose the format style that you want is the type of source that you want. So in this case, we're going to be citing our class textbook. So choose book as your source, and we'll be citing our course textbook in Chicago style formatting. All right, so just so everyone knows what book we're using here. I know my students are familiar with the textbook that we're using in class, Creating Canada, but other viewers may not be. So the textbook that we're going to be using is here displayed on this slide, Creating Canada by McGraw-Hill Ryerson, 2nd edition. And so that same textbook will be used throughout the example in this lesson. Okay, so we have our textbook that we want to cite. We know it's a book. We know the style and format that we want to cite it in, Chicago style. The next thing we want to do is plug in that title into the search bar right in here. But before you do that, you're going to want to click on this right here, this autofill mode key. And by clicking on that, you're telling the citation generator that if it does find your book online, that you would like the citation generator to pull the information from that online site and automatically fill all of the information boxes that will appear on the next slide, hopefully saving you a few steps in the generation of your new citation. So once you've clicked in autofill mode and the title of your book and you've searched, click the Search Books button. What will appear underneath that box is the texts that were found online with that same title that you plugged into that search bar. So in this case, our exact book was found, and it's right here. And the next thing we want to do is click Select. But what we want to do is we want to take a look at this information here before we click Select and make sure that it is our textbook. It is a shortened version of the title, but we know that's our textbook because the author matches the textbook. There is some information that is missing. There is some information that is wrong, but that is the textbook. So we're going to click Select. In the next window, we'll be able to edit some of this information, so not to worry if some of the information is missing or wrong. Hopefully, in the next slide, some of the information will be correct, and it will save us at least a little bit of time in not filling all of the boxes. But we'll have to correct a little bit of information, so we'll go there next. So once you've decided that the generator has found the correct textbook and you've clicked select, you will see a breakdown of some of the information from the textbook, and you'll go to the final step of cross-checking that information and editing it. So you'll click final step right there, that bottom button, and then we'll be able to edit the information. All right, we're at the fourth stage where we're going to edit the information that we've checked, and we like the authors. The authors look good. The title is going to have to be edited, so we're going to capitalize history, and we're going to add the full title of the book. It should be Creating Canada, a History with a capital H, dash 1914 to the present. Okay, so we'll have to add that. We're also going to have to add in some missing information, and that is that the textbook is the second edition. I showed you that on one of the previous slides, so we'll have to check that. We will also have to correct the publisher, correct the place of publication, and correct the year. And you may think, wow, most of the information is wrong. What good is this? But it's actually a really good example for my students to see, because your citation is only as good as the information that you plug into it. Remember that citation generators are a tool, and you're the brain behind that tool, and you have to decide how to use it. And so this is a great example of, the necessity of putting on your thinking cap and double checking that information. Now, the best way to double check the information is if you have a hard copy of the textbook right in front of you, and you can just go to the publication page, which is one of the first couple of pages in the textbook, and you can actually just look right at the information in your textbook to double check all the information that's been pulled from an online source. And that's great if you have a textbook in front of you, but if you don't, a plan B would be to do a Google search with the words citations of Creating Canada, a History, 1914 to the present, and just compare some of the information that comes up about that textbook, and you should be able to see the discrepancies. And if you're familiar with your textbook, you should be able to pick out, the features of those comparisons that are right and wrong. If all else fails, go directly to that publication page, McGraw-Hill Ryerson, and check out the information that they have on the textbook. They are the ones that published and created it, so they should know. So that's a good, reliable source. But also comparing the way other people have cited it. Even in different formats, the content and the information should be compared at this point, so don't worry about the formatting of different citations too much. So those are a couple of options to critically evaluate and think about what your citation generator has come up with and whether or not it's something that you can rely on and use. And in this case, we have had to change, 5 things in our generated information. So just word to the wise here, you are the last word on what gets used in the information, the citation generator. So be the boss and check that stuff out, and be the last word on how you get your marks, and you're producing a citation that is awesome and correct and get you all the marks that you deserve on your paper. So once you're satisfied that you have information that's correct and reliable, you're going to produce that citation, create that citation, and the next thing that will pop up in the generator is this pink box that has the actual completed formatted citation, Chicago style format, edition 16. And the way you're going to transfer this into your bibliography is by using the copy function, which is right here. And using the internal copy function will help to maintain the formatting that was produced by the generator. So you're going to want to use that. You can also use an option in a footnote, which will bring you to another window with more detailed information about what information you used within that source. So I'll show you that a little bit later, but for right now, we're just going to use that copy function to paste it into our Word document into a bibliography to preserve the formatting. All right, so once you've used the copy function in your generated citation on the citation generator page, you're going to paste it into a Word document, and I've put a little window up here of a Word document here, and you can paste it right into your document here, but you are not done quite yet. Depending on the settings that you have and the way that you've pasted your citation into your document, you may have to do a couple of things. You may have to check the font size. You may have to check the font type. You may have to check the spacing within the citation, the spacing between citations if you have multiple citations already in your bibliography, and you will also have to check the indenting. If you have you will need a hanging indent in Chicago Style 16 formatting. So you'll need to do your indenting, your spacing, and your font check, and then you're done. And you can keep repeating this process until your bibliography page is complete with all the sources that you've used in your paper. You just have to do some finishing touches once your paste is done. And so 2 slides ago, I told you that you could also choose a footnote function to cut and paste into a slightly altered form to use to get a footnote pasted into your page. And in the background here, this screenshot, you can see that once you click footnote, an extra little bar will come up that will ask you what page you used in that text, and it will tack it on to the end of your citation. And then once you paste it into your paper, it will add that number at the back of it, and it will also change over Hoogving Margaret to Margaret Hoogving, and that is because we don't need that alphabetically ordering of the last names in the bibliographic citations, so it'll be first name first, last name last, and the thing that orders your citations in the footnotes is the numbering right here. So first name first, last name last, and it's the numbers that orders the citations, not the alphabetical ordering of the last names. I hope you found this lesson on how to use the basic use of an online citation generator, citationmachine.net. And if it has helped you, don't forget to like the video or subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and happy writing.